Hey guys, it's Mike, another King Arthur Legends Rise video. The patch is in, the updates are going, and the events are live. Unfortunately, we did not get a new champion, but we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the previous video about what that means as far as the health of the game, as well as some movements forward, and I think I am going to pull for the upgraded summons of Anya. So first, let's jump into the events and see what's going on. We've got an Anya and a CLAUDAS mission that are going to be very similar to the Clarison and Ira missions that were going on before. So on the Anya mission, we're actually going to be jumping into Origin of Apolia and doing using her on your team and going as deep as you can. I'm actually farming stage 9 here. I have not been able to beat stage 10 at all, but bringing Anya on the team, she is not as strong as some of my other damage dealers. So yet, I will say yet, but I think that eventually she will be, but currently she's not. So I am farming on stage 9, but kind of plugging away and getting through those rewards. So I have every expectation of maxing this out over the 14 days it's coming in. The CLAUDAS mission, we're going to Shrine of Storms with the Stormcat and doing that with CLAUDAS. Again, I had to actually replace my Lancelot, and I can barely farm stage 9 with CLAUDAS in there, and it's kind of not. I probably will be farming stage 8, but hopefully I can upgrade her a little bit, make her a little better. But taking that speed lead away with Lancelot, unfortunately I'm not fast enough with my Morgan Sergius combo, so the Stormcat gets more turns than I can handle, unfortunately. So but I will kind of play with that team and see if I can do a little better. We also have the 100-day reward, basically just using stamina, and we get rewards. So just kind of blazing through. So as you start using stamina, 7 days on this, I think we got to use 2,500. Maxes it out, so I'm a day in. I've already used almost half that. I am actually using some stamina right now because I really want to get my Sergius 6-star awakened, and I'm on his last awakening star, so I'm in the favor dungeons trying to get those because they're open for another hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, I don't know. Running out of time though, probably gonna have to wait till Sunday, unfortunately, but I keep plugging away on that. And we have a second event here using stamina as well. So we'll get that at 3,000. We max that one out. So some cool stuff. Again, plenty of time to get all this stuff done. A lot of great goodies in here, especially for a new to mid-game account. We'll talk about the in-game accounts here momentarily. But I think all in all, it's a pretty cool event, and again, you're just getting a lot of extra goodies for this 100-day. And if you don't have Anya or CLAUDAS, I would say Anya definitely would be probably worth pulling for. CLAUDAS not so much, although the other summons in her pool are pretty good. And we also have a Wiscalag mission. We're just running through any of the floors of Wiscalag. You can collect up some timber and steel or iron, and some of these, what are these called? The armament tokens. So we got some good goodies in there. You're going to get some gear from Wiscalag. You're also going to get some of the resources to build up your castle, and the armament tokens, which have some extra goodies in there as well. On these guys here, I think these are already done. So again, we got plenty of time to get through all of those things. On the 7 days on Wiscalag, I'd probably put that on the back burner compared to the other ones, but I'm going to be in the game, so I'm going to go ahead and get it all done. So we jump over into Lake Avalon. The rate up summons for CLAUDAS are going to be right here. Again, I think everything's going to be guaranteed at 60. You're going to receive a CLAUDAS. And then it will not reset your pity if you get any of the others. The other ones in the pool are Lancelot, Vivian, Clarison, and Ceres. Ceres actually has entered the champion pool, which is really exciting. That was part of the update. So that kind of makes me want to pull in here because I don't have Vivian at all, and I don't have Ceres either. So those would both be great pulls, and Lancelot and Clarison are also great champions. But honestly, the CLAUDAS pull is less exciting for me. She's not a bad champion, but not somebody that I'd be super excited about either. On Anya, we got the guaranteed at 60, and then in her pool, we've got Guinevere, Morgan, Gillian, and Iwerit. Iwerit is amazing, Gillian's amazing, Morgan's amazing. Guinevere would probably be the least sought after in this pool for me personally. I think I already have her on Chivalry level 2, but once you have Guinevere, she serves the function to get through Master of Apocalypse, so you don't really need to step up her Chivalry, although she does get a little more durable the more Chivalry she has. So it wouldn't be a bad pull, but the other 4 I think are awesome. So we are going to pull and see if we can add an Anya or 2 to the account. And then we also have 26 summons. I got a lot of these going through Forbidden Dungeon as it reset. And then I'm trying to think some of the other events that are going on that I've acquired so far. So we'll probably do a 30 pull there as well. And probably get a good little pull session going on at the end here. Speaking of Anya, the reason I want to go for her, I did get her Storm Relic during the event, I think about a month ago. Which I think is one of her better relics, so I'm pretty excited to have that on the account. But with Anya, the chivalry number that you really want to get to is chivalry level 4. And the Torrent of Mana effect triggers upon counterattack. So every time she sets up the counter, and then she gets the counter, I think on the third chivalry, where she's adding that counterattack trigger rate for 2 turns on your entire team, which is going to be a huge win there. I do have these memory stones here to get her to chivalry level 2, but if I can get a chivalry level 4 Anya added today, I would be amazed. That'd be so good. I can't tell you how many times in arena I think, oh, it's just Anya, I can take her out, and she's on a team by herself and completely cleans my clock. Just because of her counterattack and everything that's going on there. So she is an amazing champion. Also does an amazing amount of work in Podarge's Sanctuary, and I've been struggling in that dungeon, so I feel like if I got her built up, I'd be able to make some progress. So let's go ahead and switch gears and talk about the update and how it relates to yesterday's video about is King Arthur dying. The struggle in this space is these events that are coming through, I think, are healthy for the game long term. I think there's a lot of players that are starting now that have not had the opportunity to get some of these champions. So having these rate up summons for champions that exist in the game is not a bad thing. Where it poses a big problem is for the spenders of the game and where their accounts are currently. A lot of folks that spend money on the game, and at the end of the day, for King Arthur to stay healthy, we need people spending money on the game. A lot of those folks already have these characters. A lot of these folks probably have these characters chivalry level 10. So you've basically just committed to 2 weeks of nothing in the game for these pay to play, pay to win players. So those players are going to be very bored. I mean, just being frank, like there's the events that are going on and the resources you get from those events, nothing in there is going to excite a pay to win player. Nothing, like if we go through these guys here, there's summons in here. Trying to think, like nothing in here is going to get somebody super excited that has their account maxed out. So these events are not going to get them playing the game. For me, it's exciting because I have so much growth in my account to do. And I'd say at this point, I'm probably more of like a beginning mid-game player. But I'm also a very light spender. I've only spent $95 on my account. That's not going to keep Netmarble in business with King Arthur. They need people that are willing to spend more money. Going back-to-back events without launching a new character is pretty rough. It's pretty rough. And I think that from the previous 30 days, we've lost quite a few players in the player base. I think the estimation that I was looking at was about 50% of the player base, if not more, as well as a few whales and as well as some content creators. So the community is kind of is withering away. Now, the reality of that is, if King Arthur and Netmarble, I think they're standing to make about $40,000 a month on the game. I would imagine the overhead on the game at this point is pretty small, so it wouldn't take a lot to keep the game moving forward. Over time, if they keep introducing champions, the right move is for them to probably, if they can make it faster and expedite it, they should. But if they introduce new champions, 1 or 2 a month over the course of the next year, we're going to have an additional, 15 to 20 champions in the game. And then at that point, you start promoting it and getting new people playing the game. And you can, kind of limp along until you have a better champion base, maybe more content, more dungeons. We talked about potential hard modes of dungeons, different ways of creating more in-game content that would, it would keep the pay-to-play or the pay-to-win players busy and excited to play the game. So if they keep on this pace of just kind of steady Eddie, it's not going to kill the game unless they completely give up on it. If as long as they keep adding things to the game, you will have a certain player base going on, and at a certain point they'll hit a threshold where they'll attract new whales that come in, and there's enough to do that keep the whales busy for a long time. Unfortunately, when you get a whale that wants to play your game, you should really try to keep them, because that is the lifeblood of the money coming into the game. So to kind of bail on them for a month straight, and essentially that's what's going on here. We had 2 weeks of nothing going on, and now we have 2 more weeks of nothing going on. And again, when I say nothing, I'm talking for the whales, the pay to win, the people that have chivalry level 10, everybody. Yeah, it's not an exciting time to play the game when you're in that space. For me personally, there's a lot going on. I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm going to continue to have a lot of fun growing my account. But because of where I see the game going, I'm kind of curbing my spending significantly, if not 100%, because acquiring the champions is going to be the fun part. And the faster I do that, the less fun I'm going to have. So I'm going to kind of slow down a little bit, and I'm just going to enjoy the ride. And realistically, I'm accruing champions way faster than they're coming into the game, which is a recipe for inevitably I'm going to have my account maxed out. Which I think is a problem for the game, but for me right now, it's fun. So hopefully Netmarble behind the scenes for the last 2 weeks and for the next 2 weeks has got some pretty big things on their plate to do a large update at the end of this cycle. But I think at the end of this cycle, it's going to be pretty telling what Netmarble is expecting from this game. If they continue to just push champions that are already in the game, it kind of tells me that they may not be moving forward with content. They may not be moving forward with new champions. And then I think that the game will wither up and die, just because people want to progress and want new things. And you basically have, I would say, probably 3 to 6 months of content for an everyday / casual player. And then once you finish that 3 to 6 months of content, if there's nothing new after that, there's nothing keeping players plugging into the game. And I think that's something they should look at, like Raid Shadow Legends. I mean, to actually have a gacha game, I complain about Raid a lot. I love the game. It's an amazing game. It frustrates me more than I enjoy it, so I am not playing it right now. But it is something to be said that they have been in this genre and being one of the best games in this genre. They're celebrating their 6th year anniversary. 6 years in that genre is pretty remarkable. To do a 100-day celebration that feels like a 1-year anniversary, it kind of makes me feel like Netmarble doesn't expect this game to make it to a year, which is baffling to me, because I think the game is awesome. I think it has a lot of potential, has a great structure, great bones. It just needs a little bit of development, specifically in the late game content, and kind of more longer term goals, stuff that takes, a month, 2, 3, 4 months to actually acquire a champion. That's not just, I'll buy summons and I get that champion. Give me tasks. I got to work towards this thing. Make some content that's challenging and engaging for those really stacked accounts, and keep those players coming back and keep them challenged, and they're going to love to play your game. So I do think that could happen and very well could turn around. I'm hoping for the 30 days that they kind of went on hiatus here, that they've got some big changes coming in, hopefully in 2 weeks, but we will see. But those are just my 2 cents. Let me know how you feel about what's going on in the game. Like I said, for me and where my account is right now, there is so much for me to do. I am having a great time. Looking forward to logging in every single day, working on stacking up my characters, working on getting awaken levels up and relic levels up and acquiring relics and everything else. So I've got plenty to do. But we do need to have more people in the game that spend more money than I do for the health of King Arthur. And we definitely don't want to see those folks leaving. So whatever we can do to keep them around would be a huge win. But we're going to jump into this item box here. We're going to see what I was in there. I got distracted. I wasn't sure what I was looking for. I have a couple things that I can pull that could be something fun. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that. And then we're going to pull for Anya. Again, trying to get to that Chivalry level 4 would be a huge win for me, especially in Podarge's Sanctuary as well as Arena. I would love to have a level 4 Chivalry Anya, which would be amazing. Here, I've never gotten a legendary, but today might be the day. It might be. Oh, it is. It is the day. We got a Tristan Frost Relic. That gives me all 3 of Tristan's relics, which is pretty cool. And I think Cormac's Flame Relic is new for me as well. So that was a great great 2 pulls right there. As far as Tristan, I think his Flame Relic is the one you want if you're using him for boar. It's an 8 hitter on the A3, which tears that shield down super fast. I have not actually put that on him, equipped it, and played in Penvid, but I'm looking forward to doing that eventually. But I do have other things that are stretching me pretty thin right now. These guys here, I can't remember all the things you can get from them, but I think it's quite a bit. Hopefully I get a lot of stamina. Not so much stamina. Gold's always good. Take it all day long. Let's see here. These guys are good. And here, nice. So we got some goodies in there. We'll take that. But I am trying to get into the favored dungeon so that I can work towards getting my Sergius maxed out on his awaken level. So jump in here in the test. These are actually from the alchemy, so just kind of seeing here. These books, I buy these in the market every single day just because we only have the opportunity to go through Master of Apocalypse 3 times a day, or excuse me, 6 times a day. So you basically are pretty limited. They're basically cutting you off how much you can acquire in any given amount of time. So anywhere you can pick those up and get extras is a great thing. Also for the talisman is true as well, because it's kind of limiting when you can only do 6 of those per day. Man, I got a lot of stuff I haven't done in here. So I got some gold. I do have a couple pieces of gear on like CLAUDAS and some of my recent developments that are sitting on level 6 and level 3. So getting some gold on the account would be a huge win. I'm trying not to use all my stamina in Gorgos, just because I have other things I'm really trying to do. So, you know, I mean, if I can avoid using stamina there, I do, just because experience and gold come from everywhere. So if you're just a little bit patient, you will get it. Alright, so we got through all those guys here. We do have a chance at a legendary here. On these, I have never received a legendary from the uncommon to legendary, but now I can't say that for the rares because we just got that one on the rare. So I don't know if that one's new for me or not. Probably not a big deal. Let's see about these 4. You get 2 of these per day when you do your dailies. So we got a few in there that will probably turn into tokens. And then I think that's it. That's what we got. Alright, so let's jump over into Lake Avalon. We have some summons to do. Alright, on the normal summons, we don't even have a 10 pull, so we're not going to warm up there. We're going to jump straight into it. I think we'll start with the special summons, and then we'll move into Anya and see if we can get lucky. I'd like to get 2 copies of her if I could, because then with the memory stones that I have, I can get her all the way to Chivalry level 4. Which would be pretty cool. But we'll start right here and jump in here and see how we do. Pity's at 32, so we are going to just miss it with the 30 pack. We might have to pull those extra 2 if we don't hit it before. But we'll see what's going on here. We're going rare and hopefully more than 1. Hopefully more than 1. Aww. Alright, it is what it is. Rosier? Alright, Arthur. So we're working on his chivalry. You can see I am stacking up chivalries. Most of these guys are sitting on 10, but there's a few, just a handful still sitting on level 9. So that's pretty good. But we should be getting to that point where almost every common and uncommon is full chivalry level 10. So we're converting all of those. That was a great pull. 4 rares. All of those are getting converted into tokens and start getting to a point where 2 Acolones, that's big. I need to build Acolone. I need to build him. So I'll have to work on that. Ban is a good one too, and a lot of tokens there. So we'll go with one more 10 pack here, and then if we have to, we'll pull those other 2. So we'll see what's going on with that. And we're gonna go all the way to Pity. We're going all the way to Pity. 2 rares, we'll take it. We'll take it. Frederick, have not maxed him out yet. And Clementine. So Clementine's getting up there as well, so that's pretty good. So let's go ahead. We got 1 pull here that probably will be a common. He can do it with 1 arm. It can't be that good. I do like that there's just subtle differences in the way that he pulls. So if we do one here, you're going to notice he starts with the 1 hand, and then he brings in the 2nd hand, and then he flexes to get that legendary, which is pretty fun. So there it is. Full pity mode. What do we get? All right, we get, are you certain you're on the right path? Lot. All right, so this is my first chivalry for Lot. So that is pretty cool. I do know that as you move through chivalry on Lot, he gets substantially better with every passing chivalry. His kit kind of changes, and there's more that he can do. So he is someone that you kind of put on the back burner until you got him to a certain point. and then it makes a lot of sense to start to build them. But I don't think Chivalry level 1 is the main one you need from them. But we'll take it all day long. That reset pity, we're back to 60, and we're going to jump on to the rate up summons with Anya. So with the rate up summons with Anya, we do have a 100% chance of hitting the rate up hero at the 60th pull. And the pity does not reset until we actually pull Anya. So ideally, we probably don't pull Anya. Maybe we get Iwarit would be great. Morgan would be great. Gillian, any of these folks would be great along the way, and then it doesn't reset our pity. So we'll see. But I would like to get 2 copies of her if I'm going to be greedy. So hopefully, I don't know if I'm going to pull a full 120 to get 2 copies of her. We're going to start with 60 and see where we end up. But we're going to get some rares here. And again, just stacking those rares up on the account. Getting more and more of these folks to Chivalry level 10. There's Gareth and another Frederick. So we're moving up with Frederick there. I did get Rosier to Chivalry level 8, which was an absolute huge win. Like, it's such a game changer when she starts extending the dot damage of all the dots on the enemy, as well as I did put her in a corrosion set after getting her 6-star awaken, and that way she adds a random dot anytime she lands one of her bleeds, which is awesome as well. So we got some Bodwin here. We also got Isolde, so that's going to be pretty good there. So yeah, I mean, Rosier is really stacking up to be an amazing champion for me right now. Really working through anywhere I need dot damage, she's my go-to. And she's getting a little more durable. She's always going to be kind of squishy, just because that's not really what she's designed to do. But as I can stack up more defense and HP on her kit with those extra chivalries, she is getting to be a little more durable as well. So that was a little disappointing there. Urian's a great champion. Haven't really used him too much yet. But I do have... man, they're going to take me all the way to pity. I do have some spots where I think he would come in and play out well. Another Accolone, we'll take that all day long. Another Urian's there. And Nicholas. All right, so we're getting through it. Man, I'm trying to think. We've pulled, I think this is 50. So, are we getting there? We're not getting there. They're taking us all the way to pity. That's brutal. Hopefully we can get a 2 pull. Maybe 2 or 3 legendaries in the same 10 pack. That'd be pretty fun. I haven't had that happen yet. I have gotten 2 in the same 10 pack. So this is it. We are up for pity. It's going to be a day of pity. We're just getting pity all the way around. Let's see what we get here. So we are going to get an Anya for sure. Hopefully we get somebody else 2, 3 rares is pretty good. So we can go ahead and skip ahead. It'll take us... It's not just humans who repeat the same mistakes. And we've got our Anya. So that's pretty good. So I'm at a loss now if I should keep going or if I should stop. I feel like a Chivalry 4 Anya would be amazing for the account, so I think I am going to keep going against my better judgment. We do have 2 weeks to stack up more of these upgraded summons, and I do have quite a few of the rubies there that I could buy them if I need to. Hopefully it won't take me all the way to pity again, but if, wow, 5 rares. If we do get an Anya, I think I am gonna stop. 2 on Anguish. You can see he's real low on my chivalries. We also got Kay, Cormac, and Turin, so we're gonna stack up some of those tokens, which is pretty good. Please don't take me to pity. Please don't take me to pity. Oh man. Alright. Well, we got 5 rares in the last one. That's pretty good. So we got 4 in this one. They're being pretty generous with the rares at least. That's kind of nice. Sarah is struggling at Chivalry level 2. Got 2 copies of her though, so that's pretty cool. We're going to go again. Hopefully we get it before we get to 0. I really don't want to go all the way back to 0. That'd be pretty brutal. No, don't do it to me. All right, 1 rare. I mean, we're due for 1 rare. We had 2 really good pulls. We got 5 and then 4. But I think after this pull session, I probably will have everybody maxed out except for rare characters, which will be pretty cool because then I'll start stacking up those tokens really quickly, even though you only get a few for the common and uncommons. Come on, let's do it. Oh, no! No! All right, we got 2 rares. 2 rares. We're going to take us all the way to pity. 3 times in a row. That's so bad. That really feels bad. We're not there yet. This isn't pity here, but the next 10 pull will be. So hopefully we can get it. Yeah. Oh, it's brutal. It's brutal. Feels pretty bad. Feels pretty bad. Oh, Arduin. Welcome to the team, Arduin. You're not enough to make me happy. All right, we're going to go with this 10-pack here. It's gold. It's pity. Hopefully we can get more than one. Hopefully we get more than one. Make up for the fact that we just went to pity 3 times in a row. Oh, 4 rares is pretty good, though. 4 rares. And it's an Anya. So this is part of the thing for me that I feel like the guaranteed at 60 is a little less exciting. Although I got the Anya that I was really hoping for. But it does kind of take away from the excitement because I knew exactly who that legendary was going to be before she even popped up. But now we can go in there, get her to Chivalry level 10. That was actually a pretty rough summoning session there. To be fair, I have been spoiled the last few times I've summoned. I've been getting some different things. And I did just get Tristan's Frost Relic here as well out of just sheer dumb luck. Although it's not really a great relic, but it is one I didn't have. So we'll take on that. And how we have him fully dialed in. And then the other one was Cormac's Flame Relic. Oh, I guess I already had it. I did already have his Flame Relic. All right. I thought I needed that one. Who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of somebody. There's a rare. Oh, you know what? I think it's Turin. Turin, I don't have Turin's Flame Relic. I was like, it's a rare that I'm using that I don't have all their relics. So that's all right. So we're in here. We're going to grab Anya right here. We're going to go into... We're on the relics. That's why I can't. Chivalry. Ah! What's going on? I don't even know what's going on. Go to Chivalry, go to Anya. We got 2 copies of her, so we're going to go ahead and pledge that there. She's going to Chivalry level 2, and then we're going to go to Chivalry level 3, and then we are going to go here and get Chivalry level 4. Now, to be fair, Anya does get better and better as you get up from here, but this is really where she turns a corner and becomes kind of OP. So I had her at Chivalry level 1 already with Fae Queen Authority. 100% chance to remove 1 debuff from each ally, which is going to be a huge benefit. The second Chivalry is a pretty big win because this is where her effect resistance starts to add to the damage that she's doing with that skill. And then on the third Chivalry, God's Favor skill effect activated. This is where she grants that counterattack for 2 turns. And then on the Chivalry 4, Torrent of Mana, skill effect triggers upon counterattack. So every time she's countering, now that she started that skill right out of the gate, now this is going to be taking place as well. And if you get that additional 2% for the resistance that you build her in, she's going to start doing some serious damage for you. So that is going to be extremely helpful. And now that I have her at Chivalry level 4, I need to start working on her Awaken levels as well as her Relic and start getting her dialed in. But I have been spending a lot of time working towards getting everybody 6-star awakened. You can see my Nika, my Morgan, Cormac. Bedivere is super close. I got Rosier and Kay. So I'm just kind of starting to stack those up. And then as we move over to their relics, I've been working on that as well. So in Morgan's Relic, we have it as 6-star 60 and 3-star awakened. So I got a little bit of work to do on the awakening, but 6-star 60 on the Flame Relic there for Sergius. We're almost to level 60 for Nika. And then we got full awakened, full 6-star 60 on the Frost Relic for Cormac. Getting up there for Bedivere. Getting up there for Rosier. I got a little bit of work to do here for Kay. So I've been making a lot of headway here, and honestly, it has made a huge difference on my account. Like certain things I'm just hitting way harder, and I'm getting through content way easier than I used to struggle with. So if you have the ability to start stepping up some of these characters and start really working through their abilities, it does do a lot of work for you. And then also trying to activate their skills on the relics. The key thing there is you want to make sure you've kind of settled in on the relic you want to use for that champion, and then kind of go after that, because otherwise you're going to be using a lot of resources that are pretty hard to come by leveling up potential relics that you may not use later. But we're going to jump in, get all the chivalries onto the characters, and then go sell tokens and move on. I'm going to jump into that favorite dungeon, see how many of those golden statues I can get for Sergius. Probably spend all of my gold upgrading characters I will never use. But I'm going to do it anyway because that's just the way that I roll. But I appreciate you sticking with me all the way to the end. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, please do so. It means the world to me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.